Folks, I rarely do this. I rarely miss a mouse at release and I just never pick it up. For whatever reason, the Cooler Master MM710 and 711, I just never really got my hand on it. And normally your honeycomb mice, I don't care too much for. It loses that premium feel when it's got all the cutouts in it. But I took a gamble. Micro Center had tweeted about having a limited edition blue, and I love everything blue. And so I had to pick up the new limited edition one by Micro Center and Cooler Masters partnership. Now this is a metallic blue one, and with this, I really want to give you guys my impressions. Even though the mouse has been out since November, I feel like it's aged really well with the competition as new approaches and new mouse designs have come out in the year of 2020. And also shout out to Micro Center for sending me an opened unit that's been destroyed by a toddler. So props to them. But let's take a look at this, guys. All right, folks. So this MM711 that I got from Micro Center, this one retails regularly for $69.99. I think it's $5 off right now. So $64.99. With this being a limited edition model, it does come with a individually printed mouse number. So it is unique in that fashion. I don't know how many they're actually making for this run with Micro Center. But going over the mouse itself, it's 60 grams, still competitive in 2020, insanely light. Then you also have the MM710. That's going to be the same mouse, but without the RGB, and I believe that's 53 grams. So if you want to go even lighter, you've got that option. And that mouse is a little cheaper as well. On the undercarriage, you've got yourself some PTFE feet. You also get extras, which is really nice. So if you wanted to paracord this mouse and you didn't want to buy extra feet, you very well could have. However, with that being said, this Ultra Weave cable that comes with this mouse is insane. It's actually probably my favorite one out of a manufacturer, and that's saying a lot when I do think the Endgame XM1 cable was really top tier for me from my experience, and I really think Cooler Master nailed it with this. It's still going to have the ground wire because they have to have that legally, but it really does feel very flexible, no issues at all. It doesn't seem like it's resisting anything when I'm messing with it. And underneath, or inside that is, you're going to have a 3389 sensor, so top tier sensor right there for you. No worries on reading any sort of surface that you might be using. You've got Omron 20mm switches on the inside of the mouse 1 and 2, and they are going to feel like this. So with these switches, from my understanding, the main issue of the G Pro wireless switches where they were 50mm, for whatever reason, the Omron 50mm models, they have a double click issue. With the 20mm, they're a lot more common in a lot of your mice on the market. And from my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't have the same issues that the 50mm or 50 million click switches do, and that's what these ones have, the 20 mil. So they sound really clicky, really crispy, no issues there. These side buttons are going to have, I will say it's kind of strange because you're looking at almost like a pyramid, or it's like shooting out from an angle. You can see underneath here the reflection where it's actually almost used as like a grip as well, because when you're gripping this mouse, it does have more flat surface areas than your other ambi mice that are small of this scale. And I actually do commend them for this design on the side buttons because it does offer a great grip and they sound great. So no issues there by any means. The one thing I will say when you are gripping this, because you do have the side buttons to help you out, you don't on this side. And one issue I do have is that when I'm holding it, my pinky does want to go into the holes. And these holes are rather larger than I'd like. But it is really cool that it's actually the Cooler Master logo on each one. So props to them on that little design touch. I think that's kind of cool with it coinciding with their entire branding, right? Going into it though, I can actually see some excessive plastic flashing. So there is a little bit of some, quality control that was missed on this particular model. as well as, and this is kind of crazy, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, on the inside here is kind of a lighter color because the blue is actually spray painted on the limited edition. This is, I guess you could consider matte, but it's not gloss and it doesn't have the normal plastic matte feel. It's kind of a slippery feel, but without the gloss stickiness. Because if you look under this button, I'm trying to see if we can get, let me turn on my light here. You might be able to see it, but it's actually spray painted because it's all white underneath mouse 1 and 2. And I'm like, you know, a $70 mouse, I would have liked the pieces to be dyed the color, not just painted. So hopefully the paint over time doesn't wear out like it does with other plastics. But only time will tell with that. So other than that, the shape itself is going to be really tiny. It has a very pronounced rear hump. And by that, I mean it is definitely a hump that I do like because of a claw finger type player myself. I find it to really mesh well with the S2, the shape of the S2, but also almost like the egg shape of the G305. So it's almost like a hybrid of these two. And then I'll be honest with you, pulling this one out of the closet, the G303, aka the shroud mouse as some people still call it. Yeah, that egg shape with the very pronounced rear hump, it's not really gonna be beneficial for those that palm grip, but if you do fingertip or claw, you are in good hands with this mouse. Very, very excellent mouse. The ambidextrous design is going to be only right-handed only because of the side buttons on the left. So keep that in mind. Sorry for your left-handed folks out there. And then other than that, guys, I'm cutting this short, but this is just a great mouse. And I think that going into late 2020, this is still a very competitive mouse. It had aged beautifully. Playing Valorant, there's some moments where I'm popping off. And I really feel like the mouse has helped me in that because of it being so light and it just being a perfect shape. I'm telling you, this shape is absolutely insane, and I would love to see what they can do else with this. I've never used a Cooler Master mouse before. I guess the Master Mouse S is what it's derived from. And I might check that out, even though that's an older mouse, only because I really love this shape. So, going over everything here, it's a great value if you want to get the non-RGB one. I've seen them on sale for $35. If you want to get an RGB one of limited edition, I've seen them $70, but also on sale around $55. Great cable, great sensor. The wheel itself is very tactile. I almost feel like the wheel feels like the Glorious mice. And I say that with precaution only because I'm not a big fan of your Glorious mice. However, this wheel feels very similar to the O and D, and that's a good thing. Other than that, the software I'm not really going to show you guys because it's very basic, but it does get the job done as far as adjusting your DPI from 200 to 16,000, as well as your pulling rate, and I believe your lift-off distance or your angle you can also adjust with that. The only things that I don't like about it, folks, is some of the, the quality control with the flashing, as well as the spray painted limited edition because of it being white underneath. But other than that, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you guys using this mouse? I mean, the 710's been around for around a year now, and I feel like this mouse has gone under the radar with a lot of folks. It doesn't have the marketing and that aggressiveness that other popular mice have had. Once a big player uses a mouse, everyone kind of follows suit. I don't even know if any pros are really using this mouse, but I know Hardware Canucks was a real big fan of this for a while, Dimitri. I know Dimitri really likes it, and that's one thing that kind of swayed me to give it a try as well. So other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. You guys stay safe out there and take care.